What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Vative Experience podcast with your host, Diavion Nicolas. That's me. Alright, so let's get into it. People laughing at you. That's the topic. People freaking laughing at you. When you're trying your best to go and make something happen, to go and do the things you want to do with your life, to make the impact that you want to make, to do what you know you have to do, but people sit around and laugh at you. People make jokes of you. People direct their insecurities at you to make you feel bad. People with tons of insecurities get together with their friends who all have crazy insecurities, and they all reflect on you. Well, how about we think about the fact that if you go and do what you want to do and it works out for you, that these people are going to be telling stories about how they knew you. Let's think about that for a second. If I freaking go out here and dance for a long time, or just go out and, I don't know, go skate, make videos outside, making the videos I do on YouTube and putting out all this content, and people who aren't doing anything with themselves sit back and laugh. They sit back and laugh. And today, honestly, one of the two things that happened so far, it's really early. I'm starting this podcast early. I wanted to get this idea out. One of the things that happened today was, I posted a couple of dance videos to Instagram. I'm pumping out content as much as I can. So usually on social media, it's kind of the type of thing where, obviously, if you're on social media too much, the way it's just configured and everything, you're gonna end up comparing yourself to people. Well, when you do all your promotions, when you do all your ads, when you're the one doing all of your networking, you kind of have to be on social media. So I'd rather not be on it. But when I actually do go on it, which was today, there was a comment that said, this is trash, And at first I looked at it, I was like, I recognized the username. I was like, I know who this is. I know him from Instagram, and he seems like a pretty jokey guy. He might be joking. But then, so I left a comment, and I said LOL, but I deleted that because I was like, that's not how you respond to people being, criticism or cynicism. That's, you probably shouldn't even respond to that. So, I was just like, okay, fine. I'll comment something else. So I went back and I commented, tell me what's trash about it so I can fix it. And then I dealt with, time going by and getting no reply. And then, that just really exposed in my brain my own flaws, right? Such is life. When people are freaking laughing at you, it will expose to you what in your mental space, heart space, spiritual space, whatever that you need to fix. Why does somebody saying you're trash matter? Why do you have an emotional connection to that? Why does that make you doubt yourself? Why, when somebody's laughing at you for doing whatever it is that you do and you love to do, why is that something that makes you sad? Why does that get to you, Like I'm trying to figure out why that gets to me. And it's crazy because obviously the whole visual and audio prevalence, yesterday. So I found, over the years that when I talk about something and when I focus in on something, it does not take long for it to pop up in my life. Like yesterday, I don't know if it's just me, but every time I focus on racism, something happens in my sphere of life, close to home. Every time I focus on it, something happens. I don't hear anything about it. I don't see anything about it. I don't experience it until I focus on it. I don't usually talk about this because, I thought it was just me, So that being said, yesterday I was sitting down and I was thinking about, I even said it on the podcast when I was saying that, what if this whole time I'm just delusional, What if I really think my dancing's good and it's genuinely not? I never get hate comments, ever. it's nothing but supportive friends and family in my comments. And a couple new people. But this time it's some random dude saying this is trash. You know, that just made me think. I was like, wow. As soon as I think about it, here it is. And then, you know, the subject kind of came up, because, you know, my mind just be running sometimes. The subject kind of came up. Why do people like Pharrell put their product out and everyone loves them? Like, not a lot of people have something bad to say. I don't hear anybody saying bad things about Pharrell. I hear people saying bad things about Tyler, but he continues to be himself. So, you know, I just start thinking, like, if Tyler is somebody that keeps doing what he's doing and never really cares, just keeps putting himself out there, and Pharrell is the type of person where, you know, he's going to put himself out there, he's going to make sure there's as much love and positive energy in it as he can, and then the world's going to feed off of it and show him love back. So, you know, I just started thinking both of them grew up with people laughing at them, and, you know, I want to know how they responded, because I'm sure you listening, you've had people laugh at you, you know, and what's weird about people laughing at you is it makes you start to laugh at yourself. If you're not already mentally tough, you start to laugh at yourself and doubt yourself. Like, I legit started to doubt myself. I'm supposed to be putting all these videos online and finishing my skit. I'm sitting next to me right now on the counter is I taped my paper on the TV that says don't touch my skit stuff, you know, as a message to my family, don't touch it. I've got the laminated thing that says distraction, that's going to go on the distraction cover, that's going to go on the distraction character. I've got the one for the lazy character. I've got clothes that's dress up like a woman. Don't worry, I'm not actually dressing too much up like a woman. People do that enough. I kind of just have one of the shirts on and that's it, and like a towel on my head. Then I've got freaking Nick with the red hat. He's over here, got that character set up, and I'm wearing the outfit for my character right now. But for some reason, there's just so much doubt going in my head, because I'm just thinking, if things start to work out for me, you know, if things start to work out and I start to get bigger and bigger and bigger, why is it that as soon as everything I've worked for seems like it's starting to come to fruition, I back down? Pretty sure you're having that problem too, because you're freaking human. Who doesn't? That's our default, reptile mind. We go around and we just, you know, that's all we really do is doubt ourselves unless we train ourselves otherwise, or we've had people who trained us, but that doubt is always there, you know. So, you know, it's kind of like I heard someone say before, I don't really know who it was, but someone said before that it's the higher you get on a mountain, the harder it is to breathe, you know. And all you want to do is get down, but you work so hard to get on that mountain. So I'm thinking, I'm working so hard for this dance thing. Why is it as soon as it seems like people are actually taking an interest and, you know, like, might have the opportunity to be on TV and stuff, why does it seem like as soon as this stuff's starting to happen, my brain starts hitting me with all these doubts?
Oh man, now we're talking. Now you're speaking facts. Mm-hmm. That's facts right there.
How are you going to get there? How are you going to stay there the whole time? What if people see you and, you know, they laugh at you? What if you what if you air out like 50% of your family's business so that people get a better idea of where you come from, so that the fans could bond with you, but you don't make it far, and now the world knows about you, but nobody cares about you because you're not as good as you think you are, you know? Like, and that just hit me too, because I just remember my mom saying a couple days ago, you're not as good as you think you are. And I don't know if it's just me, but honestly, it seems like, you know, she's kind of more of a, so I'm like really type A. I'm like go-getter. I'm like get up and go do it. You know, I stayed up until 2 a.m. preparing for the skit that I'm going to do today. And I'm supposed to be doing the 8 hours of dancing tomorrow, but if I go to Manhattan tomorrow, then I'll just make a dance video in New York City and then do the 8 hours of dance maybe on Saturday or Sunday, you know. But she's more of a do enough type of person. She's more of a do enough. Like, if I'm up early cleaning the room, it's because I know things have to be done by a specific time, so I'm up doing it. I do it. I do the freaking work. You know, it's like the saying I always say that the person who starts the riot is the person who starts the riot may be in the same boat as the people who join, but they're completely different. The person who starts the riot is the one that's self-motivated, doesn't need nobody to tell them what to do. They get up and go get it because they want it, and they go and get it. They go after it. The person who joins the riot is just the person who's like, oh, it's a cool purpose. Everyone else is doing it. I'm down. Let's go. They connect with it. I'm the person who's going to make something for people to connect with, you know? Just very type A. So she was basically, you know, I think it was a couple days ago when she was saying something, and, you know, I just wasn't, I don't know, it was weird, but she was like, you're not as good as you think you are. And I was just thinking, I was like, what the freak is that supposed to mean? I'm like, what does that have to do with anything we were talking about? It's so vast that it did nothing but spawn insecurities in my head. I'm like, you're not as good as you think you are. Who's not as good as they? I'm not as good as I think I am at what? Who? Me? Like what? Like all these different things. At dancing? At YouTube videos? At life period? Like what the freak does that even mean? You're not as good as you think you are. Like I genuinely didn't understand, you know. And, you know, I couldn't even really take it as, you know, she's just giving constructive criticism, because no, I cannot. Because when, you know, when she gets upset, she says things, you know. So I'm like, no, there's a very good chance she was saying that on purpose to make you feel some kind of way, you know. So that was another one. So all these insecurities randomly, it's like the visual and audio prevalence. When I start to focus in on my insecurities and I drop to that low frequency, my entire environment changes. Random things start to happen. Nothing's going right. The internet messes up. Like, dumb things happen. And it's crazy, you know? Because now that I'm getting back into the laws of the universe and everything, I'm starting to see stuff for what it actually is, you know, like trust in the source. You know, if people kind of like, you know, you keep going out there, putting out your product, doing your thing, chasing your vision, and always adapting and always keep doing new things, but at the same time, you know, you have to be able to look side to side and, you know, kind of, kind of relate to people, you know? And I feel like through relating to people, that's what I'm doing with sharing this podcast. The whole me randomly doubting myself, it was something that was really on my head. There's nobody in this room to talk. There's nobody in this room right now. There's nobody I could talk to. So I hop on a podcast and I'm going to talk to you guys about it. Because I'm sure you've been going through the same thing. Or at some point in your life you have. But I know at some point in your life you will. Self-doubt. It's Earth. It's the third dimension. That's what we do. Unless we train ourselves otherwise. So what are some good ways to train yourself otherwise, you know, to not doubt yourself so freaking much? You know, some things that I've learned, you know, with my time, trying to figure these things out. I want to say it's through educating yourself, actually going out looking for new ways. That's always really therapeutic for me. YouTube channels like Evan Carmichael, Tom Bilyeu, Tim Ferriss, occasionally Tony Robbins, not really, but occasionally, you know, things like that. Or watching your favorite celebrities interview, Mark Cuban, you know, like looking these people up and actually like figuring out what it is they're doing, you know. And then, you know, I heard earlier Mark Cuban had said, don't think about what people are doing, research companies. I just think that's a really cool idea, so I'm going to start doing that. But also one thing he said that ties into what this whole podcast is about, people laughing at you, is when he said, don't think about what Dave and blah, blah, blah is doing. Don't think about what they're doing. Figure out what the companies are doing. You know, and I'm thinking, like, people are going to laugh at you for that. If everyone gets into a conversation talking about how much they freaking love, I don't know, Ariana Grande, and you're the one person that goes like, I don't really like Ariana Grande, but her management team, I wonder, like, how they do what they do. How the freak do you think people around you are going to respond? How do you think people around you are going to respond? Oh, you're so boring. Blah, 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 blah. But then 5 to 10 years later, when you're the one on top, what do they have to say? Hey, I didn't mean what I said back there. I didn't mean what I said back then. You know, saying all this stuff. And if you don't reach out to them, now they start to spread rumors like you're stuck up. Like, people are freaking dumb. People do, like, they just be saying dumb stuff. And, you know, it's weird to me how people can go from laughing at you to trying to reach out to you and then when you don't reach back out to them, now they got something bad to say, you know. But on that same token, maybe it's not as big of a deal as I'm feeling right now. You know, I'm kind of worked up. Maybe it's not as big of a deal, you know, because like I said yesterday, legit everybody dies. We're all facing the same destiny, but on our time here on Earth, we can make the most out of it.
Oh man, now we're talking. Now you speaking facts. That's facts right there.
And people are in your life are, you know, what is it? A season, reason, whatever it is, seasonal people, you know. I'm not chasing seasonal people, you know. And that's what allows me to be able to put this work in, so that when the insecurities hit me, it kind of helps me not having anybody in this entire room to talk to, even though I wish I did. But it kind of helps me having nobody to talk to right now, because as me talking about this, I'm putting out product. I'm pumping out content right now as we speak. So not only is this like a little therapeutic thing, this is also an advice thing. This is also a connection thing. And this is also a productive thing that I'm doing. I'm getting these thoughts out in a productive way, which is the freaking goal, you know? That being said, the 8-hour video, the Manhattan video, the skit video, those will all be out soon. Just give me a little bit of time. Give me a week. Give me a week and a couple days, and I'll have it all on YouTube, okay? I'm not too sure what else to talk about, but I know the name of this podcast is going to be Laughing, you know? And I think now I'm getting to the point now where I just don't care what people think. Like, I always said it before, but there was always in the back of my mind, every now and then, there's this producer who I used to be friends with who is trying to be a producer, and he don't hit me up no more. Maybe I could dance to one of his songs and we'll get acquainted again, and he'll start sending me beats so that I could dance to it, because his beats are fire. I tried that. I made 2 of those videos. You want to know what the dude commented? LOL. Didn't even comment it was good. Commented LOL. He's a seasonal person. A completely seasonal person. I knew a bunch of kids in high school who I used to be tight with, you know? Like, I used to, you know, like, we used to freaking talk all the time. I'm 18 years old. I've been out of high school for a couple months now. Nobody hits me up. It doesn't even make me upset. I just understand, like, there is a such thing as seasonal people, and sometimes there's a lot of them. Sometimes there's a lot of leaves falling on the floor, you know? There's a lot of leaves falling off your tree. So, you know, it was just like, I just genuinely don't care, you know? But every now and then, it does hit me, you know, what if it was you? What if it's your fault why they don't talk to you, and blah, blah, blah. Man, if you don't get the freak out of here with that, your fault, what? Ridiculous. But anyways, if any of you were going through, I don't want to say suffering, because I don't like people making themselves victims in situations like this, because this is the attack of the mind through experiences on Earth. This is not you've been burglarized and you've been held hostage. This is not you've been attacked. No, this is your mind. This isn't as serious as those other circumstances. Last thing I wanted to mention is this may not be people laughing at you, but it made me think, when I start getting a whole bunch of exposure and, people want to know how my life was, and I start explaining it, it reminds me of when I watched World of Dance and Les Twins were dancing or whatever. Les Twins have a story. They grew up in a house full of people, more people than in my household right now or ever. Les Twins grew up in a small, little 1-bedroom in Paris with all of them. They were in the hood, with all their siblings, and they were the youngest. I grew up, I was the middle kid. We didn't exactly have it easy. From time to time, things were good, but I'm talking about a couple months period, things were good, and then it go right back to trash. But when I start getting a bunch of exposure and stuff, and I start sharing my story, I don't want to be like fiction. It seems like fiction's got the reputation as a corny dancer. He's like not a dancer that goes out and battles. He's just this guy who's just a dancer that won So You Think You Can Dance and got super famous and then the only thing he's really been through is his parents being divorced, And he was saying, he was on World of Dance. Like, I won't forget this. He was on World of Dance talking about my parents divorce, and it's really hard as a kid when your parents split up, and as a kid. And J-Lo was like, we know fiction. And I'm like, why the freak are you milking this story? If you're not good, shut up and go and practice and get better. And if you look like everybody else, stop taking dance classes. Stop listening to the music they listen to. Stop dressing like them. Stop hanging out with them. Disassociate yourself with them and go and do your own thing for a year or two and figure out who you are. And if you don't want it bad enough. Because I'm looking at Les Twins. Les Twins got on the story. They didn't even really have to talk about themselves. They really didn't. Les Twins have a story, and the only thing that they freaking mentioned was on the whole World of Dance thing. The show. The only thing that they mentioned was, Laurent talking about how him and some girl broke up. Why the freak did fiction? Divorce. Family. I'm like, heck yeah, I've been through a lot, but I don't want people to judge me based on that. I want people to judge me on my skill, on my craft, on the way that I speak, on my work ethic. I would love to be known for what I do, not where I came from. Because there's always somebody with a worse story than you. Always. How the freak do I look out here trying to milk my story when there's an 18-year-old who's growing up right now who is homeless, by themselves, not with family, but by themselves, genuinely has nowhere to go, no food, and there's people living worse life. There's somebody out there right now who's being molested by their freaking family member. Seriously, there's people out here with way worse lives than I have. I want to inspire people, but I don't want to be out here trying to make my story sound worse than other people. Yes, I have been through a lot and I'm really young. Yes, my mom has been through a lot. Yes, my family has been through a lot. And yes, overall, we're still going to prosper. But freaking, I'm not out here trying to fiction my way into stardom. I'm not trying to make people feel bad for me. I can care less if you feel bad for me or not. Judge me based on my skill. I am not out here dancing for as long as I am, practicing for as long as I am, taking all this risk and ridicule from family, friends, acquaintances, random people on the street, people online. I'm not taking all that risk and ridicule and putting in all this work and spending all this time figuring out how I can get better at my craft and become a better human in general to relate to more people. I'm not doing all that just so people could be like, he's not that good at dancing, but I'll give him a pass because he grew up really poor when he was younger. Or, like girls out here, like I see all the time. I only know like 4 girls who don't twerk in their dance videos. Can you dance or not? Oh yeah, the answer is no, because twerking's all you can do. It's kind of like when people milk their story about how bad their life was. I feel like the only time you should be sharing your life experiences when you get a bunch of exposure is when people ask and when you're using it to prove a point to people that anything's possible. Not to make people feel bad for you. People can feel bad for you by choice. You shouldn't be trying to force people to feel empathy for you. Well, empathy, of course, but you shouldn't be trying to force people to feel sympathy for you, because that's different. Yeah, they can feel for you, but everybody doesn't have to, I feel bad for you, because there are type A people out there who are going to be like, okay, cool, I've been through worse. Get up and do something about it, There's people out there like that, and not everybody can handle that. Of course, everybody's circumstance is different, and a lot of people's circumstances are way worse, but ultimately it comes to a certain point when you get to a certain age, it ends up being on you, all this putting out a podcast, wow, this podcast is mad long, all this putting out a podcast, YouTube, and doing all this stuff, auditioning for all these freaking TV shows, the reason for doing this, like, come on guys, I auditioned for America's Got Talent 3 times, and it meant a lot to me to go to those auditions, because the first America's Got Talent audition I went to, the whole thing happened with my mom and the dude, and random argument in the morning, and they ended up, saying they're not going to take me, and I sat on the stairs, put my earphones in, started meditating, getting in tune with the source energy, and everything ended up working out. I ended up going, didn't make it. So I mustered up enough guts and pushed myself through an entire year to the second year, practicing a whole bunch, performing a whole bunch. The second year, I forgot what was supposed to happen. I think the car was breaking down or something, but we ended up going. The third year, we ended up in a completely different state, in a completely different circumstance. We ended up in church. They wanted me to be a photographer for the church. I'm not even freaking religious. They just kept trying to keep having us come back to the church because they so-called had stuff to give us. None of us are religious. Stop trying to pressure us to believe what you believe. That's not how you get human beings to believe what you believe. It's called social intelligence. You want somebody to do something, you don't force them because they're not going to want to do it. You give it to them and let them decide. If they don't, cool, move on. So the third year, I ended up at the freaking church, and they wanted me to be a photographer for them. So I was like taking a couple pictures and stuff on my little Lumix G7 that's not technically a photography camera. So I'm taking all these pictures and stuff, and I'm like, wow, here I am taking pictures when I'm supposed to be at America's Got Talent auditioning. This could be the year. The lady in the front was like, third time's a charm. You might just make it this year. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Wow, the universe is lining everything up. I probably made it this time. Wow, I think I'm going to make it this time. I go there, it doesn't look like anything's working out. And, we get there late, like as soon as they're about to close. And they still let me and my sister through with the last batch of people to go and audition. I go and audition, my shoe falls off. But, I really feel like I did really good. I practiced a lot, and not only did I practice a lot, so I developed a lot of myelin, a lot of muscle memory, but I genuinely felt like dancing. My all was in it. I felt like it, and I practiced for it at the same freaking time. I admit, some of my videos on YouTube, I don't feel like it, but with that one, I genuinely felt like it, and it was crazy because when I got the freaking producer didn't even look like he was interested in dancing. The only performances he smiled at is when the little kids got up and sung. Some long-haired Los Angeles dude. And I'm just like, if you don't freaking dance, why are you judging dancers? If you don't even like dancing, why are you judging dancers? Why are you the producer that's putting people... Do you even know what you're looking for? Oh, I get it. You're looking for a bunch of little kids, and you're looking for a bunch of people who sing. When's the last time you've seen a dancer on America's Got Talent who's won? When? Literally when? That's the thing, because this other show I'm auditioning for is geared more towards people like me. People who, people who deserve to be up there, who actually do things and deserve to be up there. Not just little kids who sing every now and then the audience randomly decides, oh, I love them. It's not that, so this show is geared more towards people like me. But it's like, so all 3 years, something stupid happened, and I ended up pushing through, and the source and the energy worked out, but I still didn't make it, It's like that one quote. I think it's determination is being able to go from failure to failure without losing hope. I don't know how the quote goes, and I forgot who said it. There's a bunch of random quotes in my head. But that basically pushed me through the entire 3 years. That made me dance for a really long time. That made me, carve out and make out my own story, connect my own dots over time. That ultimately gave me conviction to keep going, and I'm still going right now. I have absolutely no clue how I'm gonna make it out to this country where the show is. I have no clue, but I know it's gonna happen because I know the universe is on my side. And I know things are going to work out if I keep doing the work and putting out the output, and I keep believing. I keep writing down every night what I'm grateful for, and I keep writing it to set it in stone, kind of like the emerald tablets. I keep writing down, I'm going to make it to this place. I'm trying to work with the source, I'm not one to sit around and talk about the law of attraction and stuff. I'm really not, at least not anymore. I care more about the work you're putting in, because you can't, the universe meets you halfway. You have to put in the work in order to meet her the other way. She brings the opportunity. All she does is bring the opportunity and the outcome to you that you want. Now, she will shift it a little bit because it's not going to be 100% what you want, but for the most part, it will be. It'll just be a little bit more geared towards you to create like a better experience for you, because but ultimately you still design it, but she meets you halfway with the finished product. You have to freaking put in the work and believe And putting in the work also means meditation and stuff, syncing you up with the source, as Oprah says. And it also means not just believing, but writing down that you believe and drilling it in your subconscious and putting the work in. That's also what hard work means. And if people laugh at you for that, so what? Everybody gets laughed at when they first decide they're going to do something big. It's something different. That's how the third dimension is. A bunch of flat, just like with what Carl Sagan demonstrated in that thing he had on YouTube and on TV. You've got a flat two-dimensional plane. You put a three-dimensional object on top of it, like an apple or something. The two-dimensional plane is like, oh, what is that? Oh, that's weird. No, that's weird. It's either they do that or they're like, oh, it's a god. But this ain't before Christ time. So they're like, oh, that's weird. Oh, that's so weird. No. But eventually they rise up. Oh, no, eventually the third dimensional thing comes down to the second dimensional level. And then people start to understand it. And it rises back up to the third. And it starts teaching the second dimensional people how to get up to the third. That's what Tyler, the Creator, did. That's what Will Smith did. Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff with their positive offense. That's what Oprah did. That's what all these people did. So, that being said, if people are freaking laughing at you right now, just know them laughing at you will not last forever. When you get the results that you want, the laughing stops. When you start to show them proof, the laughing stops. You also have your miserable people out there who are going to laugh at you either way. And those people can get kicked to the curb because they're not going anywhere in their lives anyways. And if they do, let's just face it. If they do go somewhere, where's it going to be? What, are they going to be an employee at some company? Are they going to have a Fortune 500? No, probably not. Are they going to tour the world? No, probably not. Are they even going to live their dreams? No, they're going to be stuck in a career that they don't want because they were so blind. They'd spent so much time judging you and judging people and looking down on people that they never actually did the self-exploration that's needed to go out and freaking figure out what you need to do to get to where you want to be in life. People put shortly the end of this podcast. Last thing I'm gonna say before the outro is people judge you because they're not sure what they want to do with themselves. They've basically given up their dreams. They don't know how to chase their dreams. That uncertainty leads to low frequencies, low vibrations, and they basically just need to reflect it on you. When they see your light, they try to put it out. When they see you're third dimensional, they try to flatten you out. When they see you're getting bigger, they try to bring you down. Crabs in a barrel. And those people suck. It's just as simple as that. Let's just think, where are those people going in life? Genuinely, where are they going? You're going to be somewhere on TV. You're going to be somewhere freaking living awesome. And they're still going to be sitting back laughing at people like they have something to laugh about. You're going to be standing on a corner, drinking beer, laughing. Whatever, keep doing you. Alright, thank you so much for listening to the Vative Podcast. If you actually sat here and listened to the whole thing, 990 bars is what GarageBand is saying, so it must be about a good 30-some minutes, but it's pretty lengthy. Had to get that off my chest, but, yeah, that's basically it. So like I said, the Manhattan video, the skit, and the dance videos, they will be up on YouTube, and yeah, that's basically it. So, thanks again. And I'm just gonna go get this stuff edited and uploaded. So helped you guys in some way. I don't know. Hopefully, let me know on my Instagram or whatever if it did. Should be in the description, whatever streaming platform you're on. But yeah, okay, I'm out. Peace.